Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here. I'm with David H. Lawrence the 17th. We're about to start, but I do have to try to add the Instagram folks. So bear with me 1 second. Well, maybe half a minute while I try it. And then if that doesn't work, I'm just going to turn on my phone. All right. So Instagram, create live. Sorry, you guys. This is the second time ever I'm doing a live stream. So fun though. If you guys were here on Friday for that first one, it was so fun. Okay, public, next. It's gonna copy that. Okay, sorry guys, awkward. And Instagram, okay, edit. If anyone is here with us, you can, oh. Is it letting me? It's not even letting me add the key. All right. You know what? Okay, everyone, we're going to do what I did the other day, which is I'm going to add Instagram separately on a different camera. So it'll be an awkward angle and I'll be turning my head, but it's going to be fun. So David, you know, I'm Hellacious D. I'm going to hit the live.
Yeah, I got my phone set up for you. So.
Oh, thank you. Checking connection. You are now live. Hey everyone, thank you. Instagram is with us. All right, this is one of my greatest friends and guests that I've had interviews with David multiple times. Oh, now we're getting.
Wait, hold on. It was me. I had sound turned on, so I've now muted that. But I see you.
Thank you, thank you.
And I will.
I see that you've joined. So we're doing like a fancy thing with 2 cameras and then we'll start. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so David joined. David sent a request, view request, add as moderator. It says add as moderator.
No. Well, you don't have to, but whatever.
Let's see.
This is the joy of new technology.
Especially, I'm so not techie, David. All right. Oh, we got a lot of people on Instagram. It's true. Like a lot of my performers are on Instagram. All right, everyone, welcome to our live. If you're tuning in from YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, can you just say a hello? Is that?
You got to turn down your phone's audio.
Oh, okay. I have it off, I thought.
Well, no, okay. You got to turn it down, the volume. It's Instagram ignores anything you tell it to do about audio, just so you don't have 2 sources of audio going on. You're good.
Okay, how's that? Oh, that's better.
That's great. That's awesome.
It's a good thing I'm interviewing an audio expert because for those, most of you who are tuning in know who David is by now, I'm sure, but just in case he needs an introduction for some of you, this is David H. Lawrence the 17th. He's been in the voiceover business. He's been a voiceover artist since the 1970s. He's been a voiceover coach for several decades. He's on several SAG committees relating to voiceover and audiobooks. He is you recognize him probably on screen. I'm the worst because I work with like super famous people and I never watch their shows. I've never seen Heroes, but he had the experience of, I know, David, I'm sorry, I admitted it so many years into knowing you that I've never seen Heroes. But David had the experience of being a lead actor on a big TV series for years. So he's such a fantastic guest. Oh, we've got someone on Facebook. Fantastic. Thank you for letting us know. And obviously let us know if we're having issues. As a voiceover coach, he's got students, I want to say it's 50 countries now, 2,800 students in 50 countries that you've served. Is that right?
50 countries. Let's not go that crazy. I think it's 13 countries.
Oh, really? Because I have 28 countries in my program.
Well, look at you.
I thought you had 50. This is not funny. No. Okay, well, awesome. I know, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Mostly it's centered around those countries where the casting sites and the audiobook casting sites in particular are active and where ACX is active. And, you know, I kind of stay in my lane. I don't like, you know, if English isn't the primary language in your country, then, or at least a language that is of import, I probably, you know, I would like, I don't feel comfortable, you know, trying to jury rig what I do into what you're doing. So like, I don't have any students as far as I'm aware of in Iceland.
Oh, I do.
Well, again, you're so much better than me.
No, I'm not. Oh my God. Well, listen, can I tell the story of how we met? Because it's
Sure.
about alignment too. David and I both have similar values in terms of the way we like to coach and the way we run our businesses. I've come to learn that about him over the years. He's just a phenomenal coach, and he's been doing it much longer than I have. In my communities, I serve script supervisors, creative entrepreneurs, and screenwriters and directors the most. I do have a number of actors in my community, and that's because, like me, they're all multi-potentialites. They're actors, but they're actors who create their own work or they're script supervisors who act. So it's quite an exciting community that way. But I first met David at a mastermind in Florida. We were both Stamcard affiliates, another company that I believe aligns with our values. But when I met David, he'd already been helping me as an actor for years, and I didn't even know. So he introduced himself, and he created this app called Rehearsal Pro that literally had been saving my ass for years,
Wow.
years as a performer. And you said David H. Lawrence the 17th, and I was like, I know that. Why do I know that name? And it was from your emails from Rehearsal Pro. And so if you, like me, use Rehearsal Pro to learn swaths of lines, which it helps you do brilliantly, then David has already been helping you for years, literally years and years. So if you think this is the first time you're hearing from him about him through me, it's not the first time. He's probably been helping you if you're a performer. Okay, I just wanted to get that out of the way because
Sure.
we have a lot of similar values. We have a lot of our goal is always service first, helping people first, and we have similar communities too. So I don't know where to begin, David, because your lessons were so good. I got so many thank yous from people
Yeah.
in my community.
You're talking about
Whether
the
they
lessons this past week.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
you covered everything. Like, you covered so much that, you almost have left no stone unturned. However, someone wrote, sorry, "Too much echo, guys. Every sentence is repeating." That's on Instagram. Okay. Is that still the case? I'm trying to turn the audio off. How is it now? How about now? Sorry about this. I do hear a repeat on Instagram. Let's see.
I hope it's
We
not coming
might
from me.
I think I've got it says there's an echo happening with the sound. Okay, you know what? I'm going to have to turn off Instagram. Can you guys join us on either Facebook or YouTube? So YouTube, it's Shtick to Script or my name. Kimberly on Facebook says, David's lessons were fantastic. Now it's fine. Thank you. Okay, so someone said now it's fine. I literally moved the phone back half an inch. That's all I did.
Great.
Hold on, it's okay now. Okay, great. Okay, great. We can keep both streams going. So
Awesome.
yes, Kimberly says the lessons were fantastic. So guys, if you guys have questions for David, you can type them in at any point. We're going to flow it. We're going to have fun and talk through it. Is there anything you want to say, David, so far about this last week?
Well, the reason we're here is I teach voiceover. And for those who are watching and hearing, all this stuff about lessons and free class and all this sort of thing, and they were fantastic and all that, what the hell is he talking about, or what is she talking about? So I have a program called VO Heroes Pro, and I teach people how to build a satisfying and successful and profitable voiceover business, offering voiceover services in all categories to clients on a professional basis. This isn't for people who are like, I love making funny voices for my nieces and nephews. It's not for those people. It's for people who really are serious about using their acting skills, using their life skills to provide voiceover work. Maybe they want to do audiobooks, or maybe they want to do commercials, or maybe they want to do video games, animation, things like that. And I've been doing this for about, at this point, 47 years. And I've been teaching for about 30. I've been teaching people how to do what I do. And I use the things that are successful for me currently, not were successful for me back in the 1990s, but currently. And I take care of helping you make decisions like what gear to use. In fact, we even give you the gear to use, what categories to pursue, how to perform. We do monthly workouts. And what I did for the last week was I talked about why I choose to teach what I choose to teach and why it's effective and useful. And, I've been accused in the past of giving away my best stuff, and I don't care.
Me too, me too, me too.
I
I
don't
get that
care.
all the time. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And Kimberly, by the way, I emailed you back between my last session and this session. So, we're on the way. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, you can still go watch them if you want to. They'll be up for another week or so. And it really helps dispel a lot of the myths that people have about voiceover, some of the assumptions they may make because they don't have enough information. And it also helps to support the things that they really want to do with their lives when it comes to being an actor, when it comes to being a storyteller, when it comes to being a voice talent, if they've already started their voiceover career, but they don't necessarily have the success that they want. So I feel like I'm in a 2-camera multicam,
Yeah, yeah.
it's great. It's fantastic. So that's what she's talking about. And I would love to be your mentor. I would love to teach you this and help you build that over the next year or so. And that's why we're here.
I loved, okay, and for those who got my email, I was mistaken. I thought the lessons were down, but if you click the little blue text at the top if you go to bit.ly voice career, bit.ly/voice career, you'll see the page with David's offer and all the description of everything you get, which we'll also talk about today. And I'm going to add a bonus of my own before we're off. But at the top, there's a little blue thing that says the 3 lessons this week. You can click on that if you haven't seen them yet. They are phenomenal. They really give you enough of an overview to understand your first steps, your strategy. And not only that, but like, it's so well-rounded, David, like the mindset, the science, the art, and the commerce. Can we
Well,
talk a little bit?
we've had
Mhm.
over a decade to build this. Every time something comes along that I think will make a difference, either for or against, either I'll help you learn how to do this, like when ACX showed up to do audiobooks, or I'll wave you off of it, like using AI. We look at all the things that are presented as options and we say, hey, will this work? Well, it won't work. My definition of success is do more of what works and less of what doesn't. And you
Mhm.
can't help but be successful. But the trick is knowing what actually works, not what you think will work, or knowing actually what doesn't work, not what you think won't work. And it's all tried and true every day in the trenches. That's what I do for a living every day. So
That is exactly, for those in my Director Whisperer program, and actually even in my screenwriting programs, that's exactly my philosophy. Just take everything in this brain of mine that's been in the business for 30 years. David's been in his business longer, and just give you these tools and the knowledge that comes from a veteran. So you start off with a roadmap, with like the skills of a veteran at your fingertips, so that as you progress, it's not only, yes, the first time you hear it, but you have constant access. Do you have lifetime access in your course as well?
So yeah, if you join as a VO Heroes Pro, you get lifetime access to the courses and all of the courses updates. What you
Great.
have for a year is access to everything else. We have monthly workouts, so you get 12 months of that. If you work really fast, you get 13 months because I'm actually doing workouts toward the end of this week. You also get access to our discussion group, which is not on Facebook. It's
Mhm.
not like an angry mob that doesn't want to help you because they've helped other people in the past or are dismissive about things. It's on our site. There's also the gear that comes with it that you keep forever. The gear that I use every day in my business, it's provided as part of the package. A labs area where we isolate. Like if you can't remember how to normalize a piece of audio, which is a very easy thing to do, but don't do it all the time. You can forget it. What we'll do is we'll point it out to you in the labs. We isolate it from the courses, and you can just go and see that. A bunch of other things. Those are for the length of time that you're a member. You can continue your membership, but you do have access to the courses forever.
That is exactly like the way I run the director whisper. Well, I call it the director whisperverse for my script supervisors. But I was going to say, like, I've been mistakenly referring to VO Heroes Pro as a course because it's more than a course. It's a course
It's a
and
curriculum.
community.
It's a curriculum.
It's a whole bunch of,
Yeah,
it's
there's
everything.
36 courses in the
Yeah.
curriculum. Plus, there's some bonus courses if you act before tomorrow night at 9. But there's 36 different courses, and we take them in order. And it's everything from setting up your gear to use throughout the entire course and use in your career, to different categories of work, to business skills, marketing, creating your own content, to mindset skills, and doing demos, getting an agent. They're towards the end after you've learned how to do everything. But it's a very, very comprehensive course or curriculum.
And I call it, I mean, it's similar to mine, but what you have that I don't have is you have a number of super experienced coaches that also work with you. So people,
Yep.
it's like, I think I want to call it, I was going to call it, like, it's not just a course, it's a universe, but it's a heroverse. Let's call it a heroverse because it's a very
Heroverse.
positive. Yeah. I think
Wow. Look at, hang on 1 second. I got to write that one down with my Apple pen.
no, really, because he's got so many pros working with him, and actually pros also take your program, just like me. I have veterans in my program because A, we need a positive community in this crazy business, and B,
Yeah.
we never stop learning, and there's always new technology, new systems. Is there, Sherry says, is there a workbook to follow along with?
Well, there's a workbook for every course. So there's 36 workbooks to follow along with. It's first of all of the lessons are pre-recorded. So the workbook is kind of on the screen in front of you. And then
Mhm.
there's also downloadable materials, because every month we do live workouts as if you were in an acting class. You're in a voiceover acting class, and you get feedback from whatever coach you choose to work with. You could choose to work with me if you want, or you could choose to work with one of our other coaches who happens to be the worldwide voice of Lexus sports cars. Or you could choose to be work with another one of our coaches. She happens to be the voice of vanilla macchiato for Starbucks. And we have other coaches who are, their superpower is mindset work and organization. But all of them have been through the course. All of them are professional voice talent, and all of them have individual skill sets that sort of complement each other. And I just love the community that we've created. It's just awesome.
One of the takeaways from the first lesson, which I got, was, oh my God, you don't have to just think about this as auditioning for commercials or auditioning for acting work, which most of us will, but there's some of us who will just use this to for our business purposes, like creating a podcast, creating our own audiobooks that we write. That there's all this other work. I don't know. Do you want to talk a little bit about? I want to ask you about some of your success stories. I know a number of them became big voice actors, but do you have any yeah, I know you coach CEOs and stuff as well. Do you have any stories like that about people you've served?
I mean, I have a lot of, I don't talk about the celebrities that I support. You might
Mhm.
see a couple of them in the video on the page that you go to.
I love the
Um,
casual Drew Carey drop in the
yeah,
testimonials. It was great.
he slid into the video somehow. I don't know how that happened. But I've been working in Los Angeles now for over 20 years, and I've worked with some really big people, and I've worked with them on a private basis. I've worked with some of them in a class basis. Some of them you recognize, you go, how do I know that face? Because he's that guy or that woman, right? And so um, uh, I love celebrating the successes of the people that you've never heard of before. Just this past couple of weeks, one of our pros got signed by a huge agency, Innovative Artists. And Innovative Artists, if you were to go down their roster, you'd go, wow, they represent SpongeBob SquarePants? Really? Okay. They represent a lot of people that are active in a lot of different categories of voiceover work. And for him, this was like a big surprise. And it wasn't a big surprise to me because I'd been watching his growth for the last few years that he's been working with me, and his dedication and his focus and his engagement. People ask me all the time, what's the guarantee on this? When can I earn my money back on this? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a guarantee. So you can not worry about that, because I have no idea whether what you do is going to be enough engagement, is going to be enough focus. I don't know what's going to happen to you down the pike. There are so many unknowns in this business that I would never, ever, ever say to somebody, oh yeah, you'll be able to make your money back on this course in like 3 months or 2 years or whatever. I don't know. And anybody who tells you that they do know, anybody that says, here's your return on investment, I would run from and leave skid marks getting away from. There's all
Oh,
these
yeah.
yeah, there's all these puppy mills. I keep seeing ads for, I'll teach you how to act in 7 days. I'll teach you how to make, $1 million in your underwear doing voiceover using AI and using all these apps. You'll probably never even use your own voice. I hear all these things that make me just cringe, because the people that are successful, the people that you maybe look up to, maybe are fans of, would love to, change positions with and be them, their type of a career. Those people have worked very, very hard to both get to where they are, to keep up with the rest of the industry, and to stay relevant. And if you don't think that's a lot of work, then let me dispel that for you right away. It's a lot of work.
Oh my God. That's the ethics that you bring to everything you do has always been very, it's something I always felt safe with you about, as someone that because I promote very few people, you and Michael Kostroff, couple of other people, but that, like, it's that level of integrity. I saw that you've been teaching way longer than I have. Well, no, actually about the same length of time as I have. I've been teaching since 1995. You've never had someone ask for a refund?
Oh, I've had people ask for refunds, and I'll grant them for family situations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
somebody's wife, like in between the time when he registered, his wife contracted a debilitating disease, and
Mhm.
he had to turn his attention to that. I think that's one of maybe 3 times that
Oh,
nobody's ever come to me after starting the courses and doing the courses and going, this isn't for me, I need my money back.
oh.
Because we we assume nothing. We assume nothing. We don't assume that you've already got experience at this. We don't assume that you know everything about the gear or about the business or about how you pursue auditions, how you pursue work. We make sure that we cradle you and really we're kind of like, if you go to an Ivy League school, or if you go to a really like posh school in Canada, they do everything they possibly can to make sure you succeed. They'll assign 5 TAs to you if they need to make sure you get through organic chemistry. And that's what we do. We cocoon you, we envelop you in our coaching staff, in your fellow pros, in your community. We expect you to contribute to that as well. When you have something that you understand really well, we want you to talk about it, but we want you to engage. We want you to ask. Listen, I do everything I possibly can, and there are still people for whom the bucket list item is buy the course. If I buy the
Yeah.
course, that's all I need to do. I don't have to
I have
do the
people like
course.
that too. People like
Yeah,
that too. Yeah.
I don't have to take the course. I don't have to engage in the course. And then the danger with that for me as a teacher and as a coach and as somebody who's trying to help people and shepherd them towards success is that somebody may ask them a few years down the line, hey, you took that VO Heroes Pro thing. How'd that work out for you? And their answer in their head, because they don't want to be embarrassed and go, yeah, I bought it, but I never took it, is, oh, that didn't work for me. Not ever saying, yeah, I bought it. I never logged into the website. I never went to any of the live events. I never went to the workouts. I never went to the accountability meetings. I never even looked at any of the lessons. They won't say that. And I understand why. It's kind of sad, but I mean, I've had people say to me, oh yeah, I talked to this one guy, and I would go and look, and that one guy has never logged into my website. I see that he bought it, and I can't chase people around. I want
Yeah.
people who want to do this. I want people who are hungry to be a storyteller, to be a voice talent, to be an actor on mic. Those are the people that I can really help.
Oh yeah, but I also think, because I have so many people who create their own content, I also think that it's extra even for them. It's like more than they even need, but also it's like accountability too, to say, hey, like, is your studio set up? Is, and maybe give them more performance skills if they don't come from that background, if
Yeah.
they're business owners.
Yeah.
Because
We have a
we
lot
do
of
have a
people who kind of side grade
lot.
from other I said upgrade for the longest time, and somebody said, I kind of liked being a customer service rep. It is side grading. I'm like, okay, all right, I get it. So side grading from something else. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have salespeople, we have engineers, we have techie people, people who have worked in customer support, people who have worked in retail. And they've usually been told, that's a funny voice, or you got a great voice, or, sometimes they'll come to me and they say, the ladies, they think they have a great voice on the phone, whatever it is that brings you, we want you to take advantage of that. We want you to be able to turn that into something that potentially could make you money.
Yeah, it's so, and let's talk a little, because I know you talked about AI in the lessons but you have actually the same take on AI that I do, that the deeper we go into AI, people fear this as something that's taking away jobs, and it's taking away the crap jobs that we don't want to do. It's changing the nature of how we work and how human, I don't know. Go ahead. I'm talking for you. Go ahead.
That's okay. I've got some hard evidence for you. If you go, probably the area of voiceover that's been affected most in the last few years by AI is synthetic voices being used as audiobook narration. And audiobook narration is 7 of the classes within the curriculum, 7 of the courses within the curriculum, how to use ACX, how to do the work, how to produce things, etc. And over the course of the last few years, Audible has offered, Amazon has offered their Kindle authors, which is why they created ACX. And if you don't know what that is, that's the casting site that Audible uses for Kindle authors to find narrators and producers for their books. And it's been a huge income generator for me, not using AI. And they've probably done close to 100,000 books at this point, for whom the narrator's name is virtual voice.
Huh.
And a few months ago, I did a series of dramatic readings of the kinds of reviews that the virtual voice options have been getting from listeners. And I had me and my VA, I and my VA both went after all of the different reviews that we could find. And if you were to rate it on a scale of positive, meh, negative, there were none on this side of the scale. And the ones that were negative or meh were hysterical. Okay, I want you to listen to this book, especially the sex scene. Can't wait for the reviews have generally been awful. And so, whereas AI is great for solving the blank page problem, if you're trying to compose some marketing materials or any number of other things, synthetic voices are likely doing projects that would never have been turned into audiobooks anyway, because the person who wrote the book didn't have the money to hire a human. But if they do, or if you've written a book and you want to narrate your own book, you don't want to turn it over to some computer, even if it's really good. You have no control over how they, imagine, let's say, a long form subtext story arc where you're in a mystery and you're misdirecting all along the way away from the perpetrator, and then the big reveal at the end. You don't have that option, and you're not going to get the kind of nuance that you get even years from now when AI has been retrained and retrained and retrained. Human beings have an imperfection that is, or a series of imperfections, because they're human, that are so beautiful and lovely for this kind of work. And so you would have expected that those were the kinds of things. And what we try to do is get humans really good reviews. And I can tell you that one of the proudest things that I can say in terms of a number is that my students over the years, since ACX and Audible have been keeping track of this, have done over 8,000 titles that are now on sale on audible.com, using the mic that we provide to our students, using the software that we provide, the process that I teach. And that's just in audiobooks. The number of commercials is innumerable. The number of animation episodes and video games and explainer videos and all of these things. It just makes me so happy and so proud to look at that body of work, not just my own, but theirs. Theirs is the important part for me.
People underestimate the value of process, and you have invented a process for editing your own stuff. And And people don't know what they don't know. So for instance, when they come into my courses and I teach a very specific process, that's what they know because I'm their first teacher. But then they go to, and they're like, oh, is this not something everyone does? And they assume that it's the way it's done. But you're just a maverick in that area as well.
Well, I looked at how am I going to help people get as much high quality work done as possible in the smallest amount of time, because then they can go on and they have more time to do another project or to relax or
Yeah.
whatever they want, right? And it works for me, and it takes advantage of a behavior of Audacity, which is the sound software that we provide and recommend and that I use. Everything I do, everything fits within the category of I eat my own dog food, which
Yeah.
is it's a corporate phrase that means I don't come in and give you consult and coaching and tell you to do something that's easy and beginning. I tell you to do what I do. I do what I teach. I do what I preach. And because I find it's really easy, I want it to be easy for me, and so I want it to be easy for you. And there are people who teach voiceover in this business and are stuck in using other processes. They won't even consider what I teach. They even badmouth it from time to time. I'm sure there may be people who you experience that with as well. And the end result is the proof is in the pudding. You've been on huge series, Suits, huge movies, huge projects. You continue to be on huge projects, and you do something that I do. You create your own content. You write scripts. And I know that if you were to take that script and it was greenlit and you shot it, you would hope that the script supervisor was as good at your work as you are, right?
Yes, that's half the reason I train people.
Yeah,
I dream of the day when I get to hire one of my students and they are magic. Or
yeah.
they are magic. But yeah,
Oh yeah, and
yeah,
I've drafted some of my students into being the other voice in a project. I love
nice.
doing that. It doesn't happen all that often, but I did a video last year for a city uh, not-for-profit organization, and they came to me and they said, "Hey, we've got the budget for this. We'd like to use you. Do you know of a fill in the blank woman, 28 to 35? Sounds like a mom." And I went to my clients and I said, "Hey, send me a sample." Like I was a little mini casting director all of a sudden. And it was great. I picked one of my students and we did the job and they were so happy. The student was happy, but so was the client. And it was just one of those lovely moments where I was able to build somebody's street cred and their portfolio and their confidence. Again, it doesn't happen all that often, but when it does, it just makes me so happy.
I've had, it's funny, I've had notes that the echo's in and the echo's fine. If you're on Instagram and and you're having the echo experience, go over to YouTube or Facebook. Daniela Sione on Facebook or a Shtick to Script on YouTube. I'm so sorry about that. In the edit, I'll be able to take the good audio from hopefully from my laptop. But I'm so sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know. I just don't know how to fix it when we're live. Yeah. I find no streaming software. I've never been able to have a streaming software that also smoothly incorporates Instagram. They really make it hard.
Yeah, they're rebels.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But we love, it's funny. I came to Instagram kicking and screaming, but now I have like the most community here. It's really interesting. It's really
Way to
interesting.
go. Hi, Instagram.
Can we talk a little bit about, I know some people know this, but I don't think some people realize this because I have friends who they were on camera actors who switched into more voiceover work and it changed their lives. It changed like the amount of, how much shorter their days were, how much more money they made, how much more auditions they booked. Do you want to talk a little bit about the lifestyle change that comes with working voiceover from home?
Sure, and know that that's their experience.
Yeah.
Again, no guarantees, but the deal flow. Do people should know what deal flow, workflow, the speed at which we audition and maybe get pinned or maybe get put on hold, maybe book, works at in the world of voiceover is often much faster than on camera. Sometimes it's a lot slower. Audiobook authors and publishers and production platforms may take weeks or months to decide on a narrator. But commercials are often, hey, can you get this audition in by the end of business today? We really need to get to, submit that. And so, but the good news is you don't have to put on wardrobe, you don't have to put on makeup, you don't have to set up lights and a camera to do an on-camera audition. You sit down, you do the work, you send in the MP3, and it's pretty quick in terms of how to do that, especially if you know how to make choices and do great performance. It leaves more time for that consideration. But I often talk to people about the amount of opportunity in the world of voiceover. If you're on voiceover casting sites, if you have a client base, if you have an agent, if you have an entrepreneurial ear for opportunities that don't fit into classical categories, if you're doing on camera auditions, you're likely pretty happy if you get 1 or 2 auditions a week.
That would be
Most
good.
people don't get that much, but if you
No.
did and you knew you were going to get that much, that's fantastic. It can become a little bit too much of a good thing if you start getting more than that, because how do you respond to those? How do you prepare for those? When we were doing where we would drive to casting offices, how do you get there in time to do it? What if you book something? What about those auditions that you have to say no to, right? So on camera, you don't want to get any more than a few a week. You kind of like, if you do, then good for you. But most of the time, you don't want to have that burden. With voiceover, there's a very good chance if you're firing on all cylinders, you may be getting between 10 and 20 auditions a day. And your agent, if that's one of your inflows, expects you to respond to every single one they send. They want you, like one of our pros, Hopper Stone, got signed to Innovative. One of the pieces of advice that he said his agent gave him is record everything I send you. Don't pass on anything. There's a reason I'm sending you this. So you could be getting double digits every day. Now, the good news is that depending upon how much time it takes you, how much time you give yourself, and what kind of stories you tell yourself about the kind of preparation that you need to do, you should be able to sit down, engage with a piece of copy pretty quickly and get it done. So even with that many auditions, you may be only spending a couple of hours a day doing the audition work. And doing the actual work that you get booked on, well, that depends. It depends on what kind of a project it is. It depends on whether it's a quick commercial or a 10-hour audiobook. It depends. So, but that's completely different from on-camera work. It's so much less time and a lighter lift than on-camera work.
And let's face it, like our hours in North America, I have a lot of Europeans in the audience. They have a much better lifestyle of 9-hour days. But for the North Americans, as you know, David, it can be 16 hours a day on set, and it's a little bit brutal.
Yeah, but then you get golden time.
I think I made exactly the same amount of money in Europe this year than I do for 9-hour days, and sometimes 6-hour days than I do for 16-hour days. Okay, so Sherry has a question. Do you recommend marketing your personal dialect? She's Newfoundlandese. She's a Newfoundlander.
Newfoundlandese. Okay. I'm always learning new adjectives when it comes to Canadians. It's just great.
I think Sherry made that up. Is that for real, Newfoundlandese?
Well, you don't want to insult anybody and say the other word for Newfoundland. So, yes, absolutely. And proudly, I have a client named JR who is from South Boston. He's got a very thick Southie accent. And I've known him for 15 years. And in the beginning, he used to come to me and say, hey, David, I got to get rid of this Southie accent. It's killing me. It's dropping me out of auditions and stuff. And I'm like, do you really? Or do you need to add a general American accent? Don't get rid of what you have, because there's going to be, I guarantee you, there's going to be an audition that comes along that's looking for whatever you have. If somebody's looking for a North Coast accent, Buffalo, Erie, Cleveland, Chicago, that's me. That's where I grew up. I parked my car in the driveway and that's what I do. And so and he was presented with an audition for Call of Duty as an infantryman from South Boston. And guess who booked it? It's no guarantee, but he didn't have to think about it. In
Yeah.
fact, he added some buttons to his auditions. That's at the end of the audition. You add a line or two that isn't in the script that makes them know you know what you're doing. And he added some things that nobody from that isn't from Boston would even understand, but the writers understood it. The guy from Boston that wrote that cut scene understood it. So there's always advantages. I wouldn't make it the primary thing that you say, because some are so specific that they can, kind of make people go, yeah, well, that's not the accent we're looking for. That's okay. That's okay. Don't look at it as anything but a badge of honor.
Oh yeah, listen, I did the Boondock Saints. There is so much Boston in that, and even though we shot it in Toronto, they got real Boston actors.
Yeah.
And then they mocked the two leads. They mocked Norman Reedus and Sean D, the two leads, because their Irish accents were so fake. They were so fake, but wonderful, but people kind of get a kick out of but the Boston in that, oh my God, Bob Marley, the comic, leaned in. I felt like he leaned into his Boston for effect. In comedy, we say, the universal is in the specific. So sometimes they will seek you out for that because it has a quality. I think sometimes people won't even know, Sherry, that you have a Newfoundland accent. They'll just like your accent and your voice and not be able to pinpoint it as Newfoundland, like the way that, what we think of as a Minnesota accent, I guess, is in Fargo, right? Or is that Wisconsin or Minnesota?
Fargo's in North Dakota.
North Dakota. Sorry.
But that's okay. That's okay. That's that whole like Wisconsin, Upper Peninsula, Michigan, Minneapolis, Dakotas, it's got its own regionalisms. And and the thing is, people sometimes tend to jump to the conclusion that accents and dialects are deal killers.
Right.
And they're not.
Yeah.
They're not. I mean, some people would say, oh, I can do a British accent. Can you? Which one?
Yeah.
Because there are hundreds of them, right?
And Sherry, aren't there 500 dialects on the island of Newfoundland? That's what I was told. Yeah.
Wow, one for every block.
Yeah. One for every house. Can we talk about because you've got David this is the only way you're different from me. My courses are open all year round, but you do launches like at very specific times. So this is one of those weeks where V.O Heroes Pro is only available for registry this week. Can you talk about the deadlines and then the bonuses that you have built in?
Yeah. So around this time of year, people with families are sending their kids back to school. Maybe they're going back to school, or they have that feeling of renewal and school stuff, right? You want to go to Target and buy some pencils. So I choose to do this because people are in the mode, and it's also easier for me to have a cohort of people going through the course at the same time so they can support each other. I can support them. And so for a full week not a full week, but from Sunday to Friday night, the course opened yesterday for registration, and we encourage those people who really are sure they want to do this, not people who are on the fence and going, oh, really? Prove it to me, Mr. Voiceover Dude.
Yeah.
We want to reward those people who are ready to go with some bonuses that if they act quickly within the first couple of days of the launch being opened, we give them those bonuses. And so registration is right now. If you go to, do you know how to use the banner part of StreamYard?
I've never used the banner part. Okay, so
yeah,
banners?
you just copy and paste that bit.ly/voice career thing and put it in the banner, and then you can show the banner. It'll show up underneath us.
So I'm going to go show, and then where do I type? We use
well, now it's showing use banners to summarize your talking points and display call to action. So hide that. Just there's an edit button. Just edit it.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So anyway, those first couple of days is called our early action period. And if you join sometime between now and Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Pacific time, there you go. Then and use that link. You can also put it in the chat. Use that link and go, and then we'll know you came from Daniela, which is great. We give you some extra bonuses, not the least of which is a bonus course called Believe, which is all about identifying limiting beliefs, understanding how 25 of them. I'm too old. I don't understand the tech. I'll never be able to make funny voices, whatever it is that you're telling yourself that are limiting your progress. We show you why they're there. We show you why you can let go of them. And then we replace them, each one of them, with enabling beliefs that help you move forward. That's a bonus, as one of the things. Another bonus that you get is an hour of my time, an hour of you and me, private, me coaching you on whatever you want, your performance, the technology, maybe helping you decide how to make your space quieter, how to find a place in your place. You can split it up into pieces, a half hour here, half hour there. You can use it anytime during the first year. That alone is a $350 value, because that's what I charge the public for private coaching. And what we try to do is outfit you in the things that will really help you have the best chance to succeed. Again, we don't guarantee your success, but we try our very best to make sure that you are as successful as is humanly possible. Now, those bonuses go away after 9 o'clock, and you can register all week long if you want to. The price is the same, but those bonuses go away. And we do have a payment plan. It's not an inconsiderable amount of money, but it is a payment. We do have a payment plan that helps you spread those out across 4 months. So we try to do everything we can to make it easy for you to join us.
Fantastic. You inspired me to add, not only I'm going to announce a bonus, but you inspired me to add an early action bonus to the bonus.
Tell me, what is it? Tell me. Can't wait.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I just want to answer Daniela's question. Daniela, who is expecting, congratulations, Daniela. I'm interested in this for my husband. He's looking for a new career due to spine issues. Great. Listen, I think that's a great reason. He is really great at doing voices, one of them being Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. How would you know if it's a right fit for you?
The right fit for me
Well,
is,
yeah.
So him coming to me would be perfect. I mean, we don't assume that you know anything. We love that you have kind of an inkling that you'd be really good at this. Voiceover work is done sitting, by the way. So not a lot of pressure on his spine for standing. A lot of people think that it's like singing, where you have to have a setup where you're standing, and you don't. I do every moment of my work sitting, unless I'm at a studio that has called me in. Like I was the voice of Mole Man for Hulk and the Agents of Smash for Marvel. And I'm in a studio with Fred Tatasciore. And for those of you who know who the big names are in the world of voiceover, big name. And we were standing. But that was just the way that studio was set up. Everything else I do is sitting. I sit, I relax, I don't put pressure. So your husband would be, kind of the student that's side grading from another business, and has an idea that they want to do this. That's all we're asking. Just be open to what we have to do. And that's how Hopper started. He was in another area of the performing arts, but not as a performer. He's actually a still photographer on sets. So
wow.
he didn't have any training. And people would say to him, "Oh, your voice is so cool. I love your voice." And for years he would hear this, but he's like, "I know how to shoot still shots. I know how to be an on-set camera person, a photographer." And now he does both. So the good news is you can fit this in with other things that you're doing in your life and do really well at it. So I would encourage you, I'd love to work with your husband. I'd love to work with anybody who has got that sort of that leaning toward doing it, but doesn't have any training in acting, doesn't have any training in the tech, doesn't have any training in the business world. Those are the people that I love working with.
Oh, and listen, Daniela's in my script supervision program, but she's got all these other incredible skills as a writer. So Daniela, how my program is run. Think of that on steroids. Think of that with many people on a team that could work with your husband. It's like mind blowing what David is offering. It's really, truly. I wouldn't go to these lengths with my own mailing list, which I'm very, very careful because I don't want to lose you guys, and I appreciate that you guys trust me, but this is one of the few teachers on earth, and I have very high standards for teachers who I actually
so appreciate that.
I think you go even farther than me, which is amazing to me. And I also realize that part of the reason you need to do like specified times of year for your launches is because you have to order all that gear. You don't want to be doing that every day of the week.
I mean, I have another version of this course that's specific to authors who narrate
Mhm.
their own books, who want to narrate their own
Oh.
books, and we provide the gear there too. That's not a cohort thing.
Mhm.
And it's not a cohort thing because of the individualized nature of each
Mhm.
type of book that they're doing, or kind of, some are doing mysteries, some are doing cozies, some are doing romance, some are doing, memoirs or nonfiction, business books, self-help books, things like that. There's some economies of scale in ordering from Amazon a whole bunch of packages all at once. It's one of the joyous moments of doing this thing, is spending thousands of dollars on Amazon or B&H getting things, or in countries like Canada or the UK, sending things out to people. So yeah.
It's like Christmas. I okay, so let me unveil the bonuses, because I know some people are tuning. Because listen, I've had a number of people tell me, "Oh, I follow David also through one of my other teachers too, or one of my casting directors, or." And I know, so I know that like you've got so many people who recommend David because he is that, because the industry is that small, he is the best, and there's all these reasons. So I want to give you guys an incentive to go through me if you choose. If you choose to go through me, this is the biggest bonus I've ever offered, guys. You will get a 497 US credit on any of my courses. I was going to just make it From Shtick to Script, my TV writing program, because we have a lot of screenwriters who perform and create their own content. But I know that there's a lot of people who took From Shtick to Script already and want to take another one of my classes. So I'll just tell you what you could get for that. And this is if you buy any time until registration closes. When time does registration close? Friday night?
So yeah, Friday night for the whole registration, tomorrow night for the
For
early
the early
action bonus
action?
benefits that we
Okay.
have.
So with 497 US, you could either, if you're thinking of my script supervision program, which is $1,300, you could just take that as a discount off the program. It fully pays for From Shtick to Script, my TV writing program. It fully pays for my feature film program, Make Them Laugh for 90 Minutes. Is Coffee Break, if you're someone who wants to lean into the entrepreneurial side, listen, David provides like a ton of information. You need to be an entrepreneur to be a voice artist. If you have watched his lessons, that is clear, right? But you also would get additional support from me through Coffee Break MBA, which is my year-round coaching program. That is a $197 a year, and the price is going up to $297. So you get that plus more credits to use on other courses if you want. So, and I have a new course coming out called Punch It Up on comedy punch up. So that's kind of, it seems like it's unrelated, but it's actually, we have multi-potentialites who are writers and performers. We have multi-potentialites who are entrepreneurs and performers and writers. So I know it's going
You're
to
giving, let me make
sing.
sure I understand this. You're giving away just shy of a $500 credit
Yeah,
for anything else you teach. This is beautiful, because anything in the world of performance, anything, whether it's a technical thing like, script supervision, which is also creative, but it's a lot
it's
of work.
yeah.
And, all boats rise with the tide. One of the things that I teach is, if you get better at voiceover, you're going to be a better on camera person. You're going to be a better writer, because you're going to start working from an internal font of creativity that you may not have tapped into before, the vocal side of things. It's made me a better on camera actor. I booked heroes because of my voiceover training, period. I
Oh
know
yeah.
it,
I
you know?
think that I'm a better script supervisor since I started training as an actor 20 years ago. It's all tied in.
Yeah, you have an understanding. I'm shocked and I'm humbled and I'm honored. And I so appreciate you doing that. That's awesome.
Oh, no, it's just totally my pleasure. Yeah, I want people to understand how much I believe in you, and I want people to be tempted to come to you through me, because we have so many. We're so aligned as mentors and teachers in so many ways. And the other, so if you do the fast action bonus, which closes on Tuesday night, you said
Yeah, it's Monday. So tomorrow night, if
tomorrow
you're
night.
watching this on a replay, just know it's Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Pacific time.
Okay. I launched a new course earlier this month, which has been rocking. It's a mini course called sorry, I'm going to revamp the name, but it's social media monetization. It's how to use your Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook or Facebook profile to earn a living, which is what I do. That's really my source of income, is my social media. And it was an experiment to see if I could teach it. And it's been transformational. Like we do, you get the training. It's about, we do 2 to 2.5 hours a week. It's been live. We have 2 more classes to go. And then I do an hour of coaching. So even if you end up joining when there's a pre-recorded version, you'll get an hour of coaching with me every week over 5 weeks. Okay. So it's a $97 US course because I have it at a beta price. It's obviously worth so much more, like from what the feedback I've been getting. If you do the early action bonus, you will also get the social media monetization class for free. And that is definitely aligned with being a voice actor.
Wow, that's great. That's fantastic. That's amazing.
Oh, wow. We've been talking almost an hour. Any more questions? Is anyone sort of on the fence and going, I don't know. Like, David, like you've not only heard it from me, you've heard it from so many people. If you check his testimonials reel, you'll even hear it from Drew Carey. But and everyone in between, brand new people who you've helped to like superstars, right? So that if you're going to go into this, David is definitely, everyone will say it. He's the teacher for you. This is the community for you. Is anything else stop? Obviously, like if you're not 100% in, David wants you to think about it till you're ready, which I get. I think I'm the same with my script supervisors. Especially the script supervisors, because it's an all-in kind of profession. Does anyone have any questions, or if they're on the fence? We have 3 more minutes.
So I would also say, while you're thinking about it, I don't want anybody to like go into debt to do this. I mean, I want people who know that this is something that they want to do. And if they're asking themselves, well, I don't know, am I good enough? No, you're not good enough. Let me just clear that up. You're not good enough. If you haven't gotten any training, you may have the raw materials, but you don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know where to start. You don't know, you might be overspending on your equipment. And here you don't have to overspend because it's part of it, right? It's what I use. But you might be fearful of failing, or fearful of not being good enough, and you're going to fail. You're going to make a mess. You're going to break something. It's okay. Nothing that isn't reparable. And so I would just ask yourself, if not me, then who? Who else is, deserving of this? It's you. It's you. That's the answer you can give yourself. And if not now, then when? Are you going to like get all your pencils in a row and your papers all, shuffled into a nice, perfect stack, and move them from the left side of your desk to the right side of your desk? And, okay, once you do that, are you ready then? Did it really matter to do all that? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that people sometimes are just fearful of failure, and that's what stops them from taking that first step. I'm here to help you through the failure, to learn from it, the successes, to learn from those, to do more of what works and less of what doesn't. And there's no time like now. I have people who have waited for years. I have one guy said, I've been following you for 7 years and I'm finally pulling the trigger. And I'm like, would you have done it earlier had you known that this is what the course was all about? He goes, the day I heard your name, I would have done it. So that's really interesting. Sherry, can I answer her question real quick?
Please do. Yeah,
she says, what is your advice for VO demo reels? My advice is, don't worry about it. You're not going to need one right away. You're not going to need an agent right away. Those are the 2 things that people think they need right away, and they don't. They don't. And it's not a demo reel. It's a portfolio of reels. Just like on-camera actors use headshots for different kinds of submissions, you'll be using demo reels depending upon what you're being asked to audition for, or what you're being asked, what the person that may book you on something is interested in having you do. You don't want them listening to another category of work in a demo reel that has nothing to do with what their project has to do with, if it doesn't pertain to them. So you create a portfolio of those, but you don't have to worry about it. All of the workouts that we do each month, you record. And you can use as little skill clips like you'd use on Actors Access. And you can use as bridge demos on your website until you get to the point where you decide, with our counsel or not, that you're ready to do a demo. And maybe you do the demo with us at a reduced price, or you do the demo with somebody else, whatever it is. We want you to succeed, but we don't want you to jump the gun, because a demo you make now is not going to be anywhere near the quality of the demo you make once you get training.
Oh yeah, I know people who spend hundreds of dollars and they've never taken a class, and then they're like, "Oh, but I've got a demo now." So, and it's like, "Whoa, you're like,"
Do they spend hundreds of dollars?
yeah, they book a studio and a coach and everything.
Do you know what the average professional demo cost is in Los Angeles and New York? $3,275.
What? Oh no, it's not that in Toronto, but still, holy cow.
From the really good producers, it is. You may not know that, but if you're spending, or if you go to one of these demo puppy mills that are like,
Right.
we're going to teach you everything you need to know about voiceover in 24 hours and across a weekend at a college, and we're going to give you a demo by the end of the weekend, and that's what you'll do. You'll go and you'll making millions of dollars in your underwear at night. You know, that's not how it works. It's just not how it works. You wouldn't have, your cousin take a snapshot of you and use it as a headshot.
Yeah.
It's just not how it works. So
That's amazing. Rosvita, I've had a bit of VO.
Oh,
Rosvita's an
Rosvita.
actor. Do you know her, right? In Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
who's somebody who's already underway? Absolutely. I mean, again, we don't assume where you are in your journey. We meet you where you are. I have people who have been doing voiceover for years, already have a studio in their home set up with great gear, but they're not getting the traction that they want in the business. And usually it's
Mhm.
because they've made some assumptions about what they're capable or not capable of doing and how the business works, that once they're like cleared the decks of that, okay. So
Oh yeah, listen, me too. I've got veterans like 15, 20, even 30-year veterans in my program who are like, "Oh, I never thought of it." It's just to get, but I love how you are able to say that's a good website to get work on. That's not a reputable website. Like you really shave a lot of pain off the process.
yeah, I mean, some people call me a coach, but I think I'm more like a consultant.
Mm.
And I look at the classic definition of a coach versus a consultant. And, if you train as a coach, if you take coaching classes and you're certified by ICF, which is the International Coaching Federation, they want you not to give the answer to your client. They want you to lead the client to the answers they need by the questions that you ask. Well, what kind of microphone would you like? What kind of, and it's like, it's not me. So I'm a consultant. I'm the
Okay.
guy that you call in to say, what kind of mic should I have? Here it is. How many degrees to the right should I turn the screw to make the factory flow better? 42 degrees. It's like I want to give you the answers that have worked for me and my clients and save you time and money.
Yeah, that's what it's about that. It's shaving years. To me, my goal with my writers and my script supervisors and my entrepreneurs really is shave years off the process. How much is that worth? Like that is worth tens of thousands. Yes, Rosvita, I'd love to do it, but it's been a tough couple of years in LA. I may have to come in on the next round. Whenever you're ready. It's same with me. I've had people joining my program saying, I've been following you for 4 years. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And they're just ready. And you'll know when you're ready. Can I ask you one more question? Can you stay on for 2 more minutes? You have to go on
Oh,
another call.
absolutely. Yeah.
Hopper, the Hopper story was so inspirational. So Hopper, the set photographer who got signed by a major VO agency, how did they find him?
So one of the things that we teach in the curriculum, the last class in the curriculum, because that's where it belongs, is
Mhm.
finding a voiceover agent. And one of the techniques that we show people how to use is the referral technique. You find someone that you know, that's a friend, maybe somebody you've worked with, and he's worked with a lot of actors on set, who is
Yeah.
already repped by an agency. And he had somebody who was repped and by Innovative, and they came to him. He didn't actually ask them, but he basically used the same process. And he said, would you, introduce me to your agent? Would you walk my stuff in to the agency? And that actor said, sure, I'd be happy to. And he came back with, here's how to submit it. I put in a good word for you. They're waiting for you to submit it. So he put his stuff in, all stuff that he'd done in class with us, his demos that he produced with us. some audition material that was on their site that they wanted to hear people do. He submitted that as well with the microphone that we provided. He still uses the mic that we were recommending. And the agent, he followed up with the agent. The agent said, I'm really busy. I'm going to be busy for the next couple of weeks, but I will get back to you. And got a call out of the blue. And during the course of that call, I think he mentioned it during the interview that we did during the lessons. During the course of that call, the agent said, okay, so one of the things that I want you to know when you start working with us is blah, blah, blah. And he didn't hear the blah, blah, blah that happened after that. He was still based on when we start working with you. He's like, wait, I'm signed? And he's like, oh, yeah. We're going to get you your onboarding materials. Now, I just want to clarify, you're not hip pocketing me, right? You're signing me. He goes, oh, yeah, there'll be a contract and all that stuff. Hip pocketing is when an agency says, we'll represent you, but there won't be any agreement material. And so it was just stunning to him because it's such an odd experience. 95 or more % of voiceover talent never get a chance to be represented by an agent. Never.
Wow.
And they still manage to make money from time to time, or make a living maybe, or at least are pursuing the options of doing that. So this is a really, really big deal. What about that story did you want to know about?
Though, well, really, like how they found, because it sounded like
Oh,
they
right.
approached him, but
Yeah, well,
really,
it was
like,
a referral. It was a referral. They didn't find him out of the blue. But it was a referral. It came from a trusted source, somebody who they're already representing.
and like, yeah, I so love that you're adding the limiting beliefs, because for my entrepreneurs, I for years thought that my lisp, A, would prevent me from performing. I'm in the Actors Union in Canada, but B, would stop me from having a YouTube channel, which is how I make my living. Like off the sales come through my YouTube channel more than anything. And people have said, your lisp, it's so endearing. I fall asleep to your voice at night. I'm like, what? So whatever you
You
think
need
is,
to, your lisp is so cute. It's like one of these things that again, remember we talked about AI and imperfections.
yeah.
Nobody's going to sit there and go, damn, this woman and her lisp. Nobody's saying that. They're saying she's so awesome.
I had to learn it by doing it. I had to learn it by jumping in and going, F my lisp. I'm just going to go for it. And it turns out to be an authenticity marker. So if you have stuff like that, it's certainly the age thing. The age thing is like voice takes away any, but even the age thing is an on-camera limiting belief that I had for years. And the body type thing, that's all out the window now. It's,
Yeah,
I wish I was able to do that years ago, is what I'm trying to say. So if you've got limiting beliefs that are stopping you from this, and that's the only thing in your way, stop it.
Yeah, well, Hopper had a real big limiting belief when he first started. He's like,
Oh.
hey, I just want to let you know, I'm not an actor. And I'm like, really? You're not an actor? Too late. You are now.
Eliane asked a question that was asked earlier. Eliane, I think it was before you logged in. What if you have a very strong accent? Eliane is Latina. Is that an issue?
You go after Latino work. You go after Hispanic work. You go, what Latina accent do you have? Is it Cubano? Is it Puerto Rico? Is it Tejano? Is it Mexico City? Is it mainland Spain?
Is it Venezuela? I don't know, Eliana. Is it Venezuela, or is it? Because I don't
whatever
remember.
it is, whatever it is. There are examples left and right of people who have taken advantage of that. Yeah, and we talked about it earlier. Make sure you watch the replay, because we talked about South Boston. We talked about Newfoundland. We talked about a whole bunch of things. So,
and there's work outside of English language work too. There's work outside of English. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Sofia
David.
Vergara.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And also, if you speak other languages, I don't know, do you have students that speak other languages and work in other languages, or is it
Absolutely? I have students who speak Mandarin, students who speak Czechoslovakian, a lot of students who speak Spanish, a lot of people who speak Quebecois, French, people who speak Parisian French. There are people who speak English the way English people speak English, which in some cases is a foreign language. In a particular area, region, they're Northern England, they're Liverpudlian, they're Glaswegian in Scotland, So it's something to be aware of. It's something to take advantage of, and it's not something to dread.
Yeah, totally. Thank you so much for your time. We went a little bit over. Sorry for the tech issues on Instagram. Hopefully I can fix it in post, but if we can, I'm just happy that we got to sit down for an hour during your very, very hectic and busy launch week. I'm always so happy to see you, David. Thank you. Have
Always
a
love it.
great one.
Love it,
I'll
love it,
be
love it. Thank you
emailing
so much.
people this week to remind them.
All right.
Thanks for joining us live. Bye.
See ya.
This is always the awkward. There we go. Thanks, David.